So rumor has it, Chinese scientists have successfully cloned dragons. Yes, you heard me right, dragons. And you're going to want to stick around for this one because what this resulted in might end up having an impact on every last one of us. According to the source, this is all taking place in a genetics lab out of Beijing. How are they accomplishing such a feat? Well, they're using a cutting-edge technology, a targeted gene editing program known as CRISPR-Cas9. With this system, you can basically take the traits of one animal and cross it and insert it into the DNA of another, as long as those animals are compatible. It's basically allowing scientists to pick the genetics that they want the said creature to have. The CRISPR portion of the method are actually sections of DNA, while the Cas9 are an enzyme that they find in bacteria. This method has led to the patented glowfish that shines under UV light and also a glowing rabbit. What's crazy about this is it was brought up back in 2016 in an article that related to the CRISPR method. A professor at biosciences at Stanford said it could be done. There would be some implications or some drawbacks, but it was possible. The only things they couldn't mimic were the possibility of the dragon breathing fire or its size, because you can't really instill size in genetics, meaning there really aren't any creatures big enough to actually crossbreed with the genetics of a dragon on the planet at this time. One of those would be the Komodo dragon, and those aren't near as big what alleged dragons were back in historical times. Nevertheless, the Chinese apparently ran with it, and they're doing exactly what this article talked about back in 2016. Now I know what you must be asking yourself. Where could they have possibly gotten the genetics for the dragon? Well, apparently early last year, scientists, while out on an expedition, happened to find a dragon corpse in the Taimoshan Mountains. And according to reports, this dragon had been frozen for the last 10,000 years. The scientists couldn't believe their luck. It was so perfectly preserved, it still had skin, claws, scales, and even teeth. The scientists wasted no time. They took the well-preserved corpse back to the lab and started the cloning process. And I don't know why, but for some reason I feel like this was a part of the plan the entire time. So as I said, the scientists wasted no time and got right to work. They started splicing the dragon DNA and genetics with lizards and reptiles we have on Earth today, using creatures like the spotted gecko, the bearded dragon, and then finally this beast, the Komodo dragon. And it wasn't just limited to those. Look at all the eggs in incubation. They pulled no punches. And side note, this facility was heavily guarded the entire time. And I'm not going to lie, they ended up with some of the coolest little creatures I've probably ever seen. Some of the hybrids they come up with are absolutely mind-blowing. This one seems to even possibly have feathers. What honestly baffles me the most is that some of them even have the ability to fly, and yes, did grow wings. They definitely have a How to Train Your Dragon vibe about them. In fact, if you guys had the opportunity, would you adopt one of these and actually train them to be your dragon? And if so, your second at is the first person that you'll have a battle with. Who is that? Let me know in the comments. Again, you can definitely see the prehistoric or Jurassic type nature in each of these creatures. They definitely look dragon-esque. But no matter how cute they are, there's always repercussions when doing this type of stuff. And if it wasn't for some hacker that intercepted an email from the lab scientists to the government, we would have no idea what took place. In said email, the lab scientist goes on to explain how they crossed the DNA from the dragon with the Komodo dragon. And this beast is what they came up with. Wild. I'm not gonna lie, that thing is scary as hell. But according to the email, after crossing the dragon with the Komodo dragon, the beast that resulted had a highly toxic venom. But at the time, this particular lab scientist had no idea, none of them did, that it was so highly toxic, and he got bitten. In the first couple minutes, he exhibited no side effects, but it wasn't long before he started to look odd. And about 10 minutes later, he started attacking his fellow coworkers, trying to spread the venom to them. Luckily, he wasn't able to bite any of them, but they're all on lockdown. Could this be the zombie apocalypse? And y'all, it doesn't stop there. The same company took DNA from a Nordosaurus found in Canada back in 2011. They took the DNA and started testing it in pigeons and chickens, but they would only enter the DNA at the embryonic stage. So after hatching, they would show traits of dinosaurs. The pigeons began to grow longer legs and taller. Not only that, some of these embryos actually turned into dinosaurs. And these dinosaurs grew to their full adult bodies in 3 months, because chickens grow to their full adult bodies within 3 months. And these monsters were like nothing you'd ever see. Some of them were even born with odd deformities, no legs, no arms, no tails. Well, one day, one of these beasts went rampant and they attacked their handler, eating them whole. But according to rumors, the company that's doing this really doesn't care. They brushed it under the rug, and they plan on opening a park where they're going to display these creatures to the public, just like a dinosaur zoo. We're talking some real Jurassic Park stuff. You'd think they'd learn from the last 6 movies of Jurassic Park. This does not work. Humans and dinosaurs simply don't mix. Unfortunately, like I said, they don't seem to really give a rip. At the end of the day, they see dollar signs. And I'm not gonna lie, if it's all secure and they're behind cages, I'm in. I'm going to check them out. I might have something on me, but definitely gonna go check them out. And I'm curious what you all think. Are y'all in? Are you going to check it out? If this does happen, would you pay to go see dinosaurs at a zoo? Let me know in the comments. I just hope to God that if one of us is there, it doesn't go full Jurassic Park on our asses. And if it does, do you think you would survive? Would you survive a Jurassic Park scenario? I'm curious on y'all's answers. Hope y'all enjoyed. I hope y'all enjoyed these videos. I love doing them. They're really intriguing. I just got to break it to you guys that a lot of the images here produced in these videos were artificially produced. The story is a creepypasta. But there is some truth to what I shared. The article about the Stanford professor. Real. End of the day, they are doing splicing, like I said. All of that stuff was valid. Now, you know how things go. Just because it's not out in the mainstream news doesn't mean they aren't behind the scenes crossbreeding and doing DNA splicing between ancient creatures and modern. In fact, I believe they are. So, you know how it goes with creepypastas. They call them creepypastas because at the end of the day, they can't call them real. Again, I'm not saying that's real, but it happens. And I guarantee it dates back to the Atlantean era, chimera, crossbreeding of different species, splicing DNA. It's an ancient practice, so don't count it out. Either way, I thought the story was really intriguing. I thought the idea was intriguing. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay in love, stay in the light, be kind to others. I am out.